handle all offices and all factories, all the real estate for JSK in 80 different countries and 80 million square feet. Suddenly, you cannot be a local property company. You will not get JSK as a client, just like you can't have Coca-Cola as a client for all their advertising unless you have offices everywhere. I met with an aluminium company. IKEA goes to them and say, we want you to produce, give us aluminium in all our factories around the world. AkzoNobel, a chemical company. Unilever goes to them and say, we want to have the same chemicals from the same kind of factory with the same quality regardless of where our factories are. Which means an AkzoNobel factory in Brazil today has to have exactly the same quality and look exactly like the same as an AkzoNobel factory in Germany. That is the change. So, what can we learn? What can we learn from the companies that are good at doing this? What are some examples of companies that have been good, but brands and companies which have been good at making this transition from a local company to an international company to a multinational company, and then the next step, a global company? So here are some of the companies I have interviewed. Cars is a very good industry to look at. Because if you take away tourism and food and a few other very local industries, there are few things more connected to a country when we think about a product than cars. Maybe airlines, right? You have German cars. You have American cars. You have Swedish cars. You know the Swedish car, anyone? Yeah, right, Volvo. Actually, it's a Chinese car, and that's the whole point here. The thing is, those companies, car companies, they were started 100 years ago. In the 20th century, when the mindset of nationalistic people, nationalistic companies, and nations were all intertwined and they all worked together. What has happened now is that the companies transform themselves. They leave that and go to the next level. The consumer haven't realized that yet, but the car companies have. And the best example to illustrate this is to illustrate with this car company, the Mini. Because if Toyota is a Japanese car company and Ford is an American car company, Mini is a what? Anyone? Mini is a? Go on. British. But who owns Mini? Now, if BMW owns it, can you say that Mini is an English brand? And if you were the global brand manager of Mini, would you like Mini to be a British brand? What is the image in the world's population of a British brand? Or let's say, a British car. Oh, that's the car where you have to have two cars so you can have one car running. You know, the other is spare parts. The image of a British car is terrible. You don't want to be a British car. But if you are the global brand manager of Mini, do you want to be a German car? You try selling Mini as a German car. The Brits going to kill you. So now you're the global brand manager of Mini. You can't be a British car. You can't be a German car. So what are you going to be? That's the point. The good thing with the Mini is that it was relaunched in the 21st century. Meaning, when they relaunch the car, they can look at what the car looks like today, and they can use the brand in today's environment. And in today's environment, cars should not be connected to countries. Cars should have their own brand values. So I interviewed the global brand manager of Mini, and I said, but if you're not connected to a country, doesn't that make your brand weaker? If you don't have the history of the name? He said, no, it makes our brand stronger. Because now we can decide what is the brand properties of Mini. Not what you think about this country, but what do I want the brand to stand for. And he wants Mini to be a friendly, positive, cosmopolitan brand. That's not Germany, if you ask me. That's not Britain, if you ask me. It might be London. So by elevating your brand from your country, get rid of that, get up, decide what your brand is. You get freer, stronger, flexible. So how do you get rid of this? How can you get rid of being a British company when this is the most iconic picture of a car? The Mini with a Union Jack on top. And the Mini is not trying to forget that they're British. They have a heritage. But they're not pushing it. They're not letting that define the brand. So in the 2010 World Cup in Germany, Mini did this. They had a campaign where they branded cars with the flag of all the good soccer playing nations, and if Brazil won the game, they would go to some fans with flags, happy people painted in the face, and they say, "Congratulations to the win. Would you like to use a car for tonight so you can go around and be happy?" And they go, "Yeah, of course." So they would drive around Germany in these cars, and people will take picture of it and post it on Facebook and Twitter and so on. And suddenly, the picture of the Union Jack on top doesn't mean it's British, it means let's have fun with our cars. Transforming it to a metropolitan, global, happy brand. And if you know, and I asked him, so what this thing about nations and cars? He said that discussion is gone. A BMW is produced in Russia. The quality is better in the Russian factories than in the German factories. Is BMW a Russian car now? No, it's a car. It's a premium car. 100 and plus nationalities working for BMW. Get rid of that. Now, it doesn't have to be a big company. We can also be a small company. It's easy to say that global companies, that's the after multinational. You have to be huge, not relevant for us. It is relevant for us. You can be a global company and have a company of 3 employees. I'm one example. We are 1 employee in Singapore, me, 1 employee in Sweden, 2 employees in Sweden, and that's it. But we are not a Swedish company, we are not a Singaporean company, we are a creativity company. Angry Birds is the most successful mobile game in the history of it's actually one of the most successful products ever launched. 1 billion downloads in 3 years. From nothing to 1 billion customers. From nothing to 1 in 7 human beings downloading this game. It's unbelievable. It's done by a company called Rovio. But Rovio comes from where? Anyone? You're kind of in the industry, maybe you know. Rovio comes from? Anyone? Yeah, Finland. Finland, which is actually not Scandinavia, but anyway, it's close. Finland. So I